climate change is something we're all talking about more than ever. Would you say that it's having an effect? We can see here today the snow's on the ground, it's beautiful and sunny. Is this a normal winter we're having? How are winters changing with climate?
Well, on the Pyrenees where we are at the moment, actually, you see there is snow on the ground, but if you look around, there is little snow on the mountain, and there is much less snow now than there used to be. And this is not, well, this year maybe has been slightly colder than recent ones in this area, but there is a general tendency throughout Europe for a decline in snow cover, snow on the ground. The number of snow days has declined significantly on the mountain, but also on the plain in Northern Europe. And this has translated into a significant reduction in the ice mass on the mountain. So just to give a number, between 2022 and 2023, we lost 10% of the volume of ice mass on the European Alps.
And is there then a feedback loop that if we lose more snow over winter, how does that affect the climate going forwards?
Yes, well, it triggers a number of feedbacks. I mean, we do know the sea ice feedback, so the reduction of sea ice over the Arctic and the Antarctic Sea reduce the amount of reflection from the surface, and so increase the amount of absorption into the sea, incrementing the temperature further, which decrease the ice and so on. To some extent, this works also in the mountain. So snow and ice are very effective reflectant surface, and so most of the incoming radiation is reflected back into space. If you remove the snow, then this radiation gets absorbed by the soil, absorbed by the land. So this is one feedback loop. The other feedback loop is generated, or is linked to the availability of water. So we actually are changing the hydrological cycle. The peak snow melt changes with season, so the amount of water in the river system has a different seasonalities, and this reflects, for instance, in less water for agriculture and for many applications, as we have seen in the Po Valley a couple of years ago, where the Po River was at the very historical minimum.
Would you say our winters are getting warmer and wetter, or does it vary across Europe?
Yeah. In general, for the northern Europe, northwestern Europe, that's probably a sufficiently good approximation. So milder and wetter. For Europe as a whole, it doesn't necessarily hold. So we see actually a trend in the declining precipitation in southern Europe. This is true for winter and for summer, and this is also associated with an increase in evaporation. So in general, southern Europe is seeing drier condition, and at the same time, because of the characteristic of climate change, we also see speeding up or an increase in the most intense precipitation. So in the last couple of years, we've seen these terrible floods in Libya, Greece, in Slovenia, in Emilia-Romagna, in the Czech Republic, and most recently in Valencia. These events were all triggered by very intense localized precipitation. Well, these kind of events are likely to become even more intense in the future.
We've recently heard that in 2024, hottest year the planet has had, that we breached 1.5 degrees warming threshold. What do you think will happen in 2025? Are we going to do it again? Can we get back below that number?
Well, in a sense, it's a bit too early to say exactly what will happen in 2025. The seasonal forecast gets 6 months down the line, so we have some visibility of what's going to happen over the next 6 months, less so for the next year. The general consensus at this stage is that probably the odds are not super supportive or yet a super hot year, but the tendency is clear. We are going towards warmer temperature, so the chance for the next 5 or 10 years to be warmer than the last one are very, very high.